Shall
When are you live?
we are live now.
Oops.
We are properly live. So, good morning. Let's just make sure the microphone's working. Yes, it is. That looks good. So, good morning, everybody. So, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about pivoting for profit. And I've got my husband here today as my special guest. Here, other hand, because it's all off screen, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I get it.
So my husband, who is growing his lockdown beard and turning into Grizzly Adams day by day, which is quite funny. So, what we've been talking about pivoting this week and what that means for you, and I wanted to give you a couple of examples of people who are in other groups that I work in, and or that I'm a member of, and some people who've done some really clever stuff in lockdown. So I'm going to just change my screen for a moment and pop over there because I've got a couple of websites that I want to show you. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is a lady called Jojo Graham, who has built these things called content card decks. So she is a trainer and a coach, and she deals with a lot of people on a one-to-one, and she has an online program as well. And while she was in lockdown, one of the things that people often put on hold first are coaching programs and their sort of one-to-one sales. So Jojo was had some time freed up, and I think she was probably working on these already because these have come sort of fairly quick to market. But what she realised was a lot of people that she's talking to and a lot of people that she's coaching were really struggling with content. So everybody has these grand ideas of we need to have a content plan, we need to have content mapped out, we need to do ad hoc content, impromptu content. We need to go live. We need to have blogs. We need to have, posts on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these things. And people were struggling to know what to say. So what she did was designed these cards. I'm just going to open the pack. I'm not going to open this one. I've got another one somewhere, which I have opened, where I have been through the plastic. There we go. So we've got these cards, and what she's designed is a set of 54 cards, a deck of cards, where you can pick and choose something each day to talk about. So this one I'm looking at is talk about something that shares why you do what you do. So what's your why, the reason for being in business? And this tells a personal story. So she's got this on the card. And the idea is that you pick one or two of these subjects each day, and then you choose that as your content for the day and you share that with your audience. So we have another one here, which is to promote yourself. Share a free resource relating to your month's offer to build your email list. You see, quite clever. Share something that share something that you are a powerful stand for. Share a teaching to show that you're an expert. So some of these are personal belief cards, some of these are problem solver cards, and some of these are story or struggle cards. And what's happened is that Jojo has now been interviewed on multiple channels. These cards have gone quite viral, and all of a sudden, even though one part of her business might have quietened down, another part of her business is suddenly booming. So if you haven't bought or got a copy of these content cards, I would really recommend you go and get them. And the website address is www.simplecontentcards.com. So really, really good, not terribly expensive, and that takes you to this website where you can learn all about Jojo and buy these cards. So think about, could you do something similar in your business? What could you do to engage your audience? And most importantly, what is it that your customers are wanting that they're currently not getting? So let me show you another example. So Dawn McGruder is a marketing goddess, absolutely amazing. I met her at a Marrakesh retreat last year. Most amazing lady, and there isn't much that she doesn't know about LinkedIn. Now, in her conversations and her chats with people, she found that a lot of people were really struggling with Facebook. They were struggling with the ads, they were struggling with getting the conversions, they were struggling with, making the Facebook ads were really a cost center, whereas Dawn has for years been able to make a profit from her Facebook ads with very clever targeting, very clever audience building, and very clever Facebook ad usage. Now, it's not the typical way that a Facebook advertiser would teach you, or an agency would teach you how to sell. But it's incredibly insightful, and it's basically targeting people's behaviors. So she would recommend, for example, that you don't create lookalike audiences. You don't follow people that are interested in Carrie Green or Shah or various influences in the market. What you do is you try and create an audience. You build an audience of people that look at your posts and your content and then market to them, and you've got a much higher chance of getting the conversion and creating a profitable sale and creating a profitable funnel. So Dawn recognised that this was an issue, and this was something that people, especially now that we're all at home and we're all trying to promote our own businesses and build our own audiences while we're at home, Dawn realised that this was a gap in the marketplace. So she created this masterclass and a pop-up group. And I think last time I looked at it in this group, there was something like 512 members, I think. 512 members this morning. So that's an incredibly powerful thing to do. And what she's done is recorded 3 pre-trainings to get engagement and to get feedback from people in the group, and then the masterclass is going to be today. So that happens later on today, and I think 12 o'clock there'll be a masterclass, and she's going to deliver the 3 fail-proof ways to use Facebook ads to get leads and clients. So she's taken her existing offering. She's already known as being a guru in the marketing industry, and now she's pivoted and she's focusing on Facebook, because that is something that a lot of us are struggling with at the moment. And when you're looking to get your offer out there, it's really, really important that you do it whilst making a profit and turn what used to be a cost center into a profit center. Now, a quick note about YouTube. A fascinating fact that I learned this morning is that YouTube was originally set up as a video dating app before it was bought by Google and became probably the most one of the most important video sharing platforms. And it's a search engine in its own right, isn't it? So it's a massive pivot from where they originally intended on being to where they are now. Third example of pivoting for profit is my husband here, who Paul retired medically after getting meningoencephalitis in 2002, so lives with permanent chronic migraine and fatigue, and spends your days mostly playing golf, don't you? Used to, before lockdown.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about why you started playing around with woodwork, because that's not something I ever imagined you would be doing.
Well, I knew that the patio furniture was starting to look a bit tired and decrepit, so I started looking on YouTube, of all things, of I don't know, things to sort of like tinker away at. There was a bench table that folded. Well, it was a table.
Bench table,
as I call it. Yeah, it folds out into a bench and a table. So I asked you if you were interested in that. You said yes, so I had to buy some tools to actually make it. So first purchase was a mitre saw, so I can get the angles right. So I didn't.
So so you've literally spent the last month building stuff in the garden, haven't you? So you really struggled with lockdown, didn't you, at the beginning? You don't really like being cooped up. You don't like being indoors.
I hate it.
You were a bit grumpy,
A lot grumpy.
a lot grumpy. So you really struggled with it, and you didn't know what to do, did you? There was only so much TV.
Exactly, and only so much games you can play on your phone, and it just starts to get you a bit depressed. And there's only so many meals you can cook without getting fed up with them. So you need, a distraction from the mundane. So I chose woodworking, and it's something
which
quite like.
which is really bizarre. So what's happened is we now have a full range of wood furnishings in the back garden, don't we? So we've got planters and a plant bench, and you even built a little table to put your sander on, so that you could.
Hardly a table or something. It was just something like something you would put two pallets together type thing. So yeah, it was just a bit of wood thrown together so I can actually put my sander on it.
But actually, that can be multi-purpose. So if we have a barbecue, you've got somewhere to put the food. It's a prep station, isn't it? Yeah. So that was really clever. But what's happened since then is that people have gone quite crazy about it. The feedback you've had on your woodworking, considering that some of this stuff you've built the vegetable from plan, but you didn't build. Yeah, that was a challenge. I'll find that in a minute, and I'll show you how that works. So you built the vegetable from the plan, but everything else you've just sort of built and made it up as you've gone along, haven't you? So the sizes and the structure, and we've got quite a garden full now of all of this furniture.
Wonderful, look at that.
I know, it does look very pretty, doesn't it? And you now have a shed full of tools, and in fact, you've turned the whole garden into like an outdoor workstation.
Well, yeah, it's an
outdoor shed. Yeah, I'm going to pop onto my own Facebook page and see if I can find lots of things
fold
there.
Your bench.
Find the vegetable, because that is just brilliant. There we go. So this is the vegetable that we were talking about.
Terrible picture.
I know, sorry.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like when it's folded down. And then this is what happens.
Yeah, let's put my back out doing that. No, I'm kidding. Oh, it's marvellous technology.
So what's happened since then is lots of people have then messaged us and private messaged us to try and convince Paul to turn this into a business. So whether you will or not is a different matter.
The thing, I don't see it as professional enough to, I don't know, sell it, because I put my name to it. I'm like, oh God, no! When somebody realises it's like it's going to fall to bits if somebody sits on it. But
I don't think any of it's going to fall to bits. It's fairly robust stuff. It's not going to fall apart anytime soon, is it?
No.
But in what hobbies have you got? What can you do? Look at the types of things that you can enjoy and make money out of. I was talking to a lady who is a crafter, and earlier this week, and we were looking at her account. So she called me just as a consultant to have a look at her P&L and get her Xero account up to date. And what she'd done is taken her hobby and turned that into a business. So now Paul's got this hobby with the potential of it being a sometime business. You might want to.
I wouldn't do
it.
God, no.
Well, we don't have a workshop or anything like that. But in the summer, to pass a bit of time, the challenge is that these are big, robust, heavy pieces of equipment, aren't they? So they're made from treated wood. So they're not going to rot, are they?
No, and they get sanded down so they're nice and soft, so you don't get no splinters in your backside or anything like that. So
I was talking to another lady yesterday who's been made redundant from one of our client companies, and this is an agency that has seen a significant drop in business. But her skill set, so she's the office manager. Now her skill set is VA type work. So she's now thinking of using her redundancy and using everything that she's learnt in the last few years to start a VA agency, which would then fit around her home. It would fit around the business. She could start it while she's in lockdown, because there's an awful lot of stuff that she is skilled in that people at home are struggling with. So the challenge then is making sure that you build that audience and you create the demand and you create the interest. And that's sometimes the hard bit. You know, you start off on Facebook, you start sharing a few posts about it, you set up a business page, you do a few lives just like this one, and you know, you try and get that engagement. So then you have to start looking at trying to put yourself out there, and you know, not just sharing good quality content and sharing ideas and sharing inspiration, but showing that you're credible and showing that you are the go-to expert, so that people can then find you. So I think one of the challenges at the moment is getting seen in all the noise. So I've noticed since we've been on lockdown, my inbox is, I'm inundated with people trying to sell me stuff. So you know, there's I'm on so many lists that I didn't even realise that I was on, and you know, despite GDPR, I still get an enormous number of incoming emails just trying to sell me stuff, and then 2 days later, if I haven't responded, they're trying to sell me stuff again. People on LinkedIn that friend you and then literally try and sell you stuff straight away, and then when you haven't responded, they're constantly chasing you for feedback and for an answer. So it's a real challenge to get yourself out there and get yourself known. I mean, obviously not difficult. It's a challenge, but it's something that one has to do if you want to make a profit and generate a business that has enough income to pay you the salary that you want to earn. So that's 3-4 examples, 5 actually, I think now, of people who have taken a service or a product and pivoted it for the demand of lockdown and the things that they're seeing at the moment, the questions that their customers are raising. Some of them, of course, are going out and asking the questions. Some of them are reacting to questions that are being asked to them. Some of them are starting brand new projects. So what I was going to do is, I've got several spare packs of these content cards. So if you're watching this in one of our Facebook groups and you invite somebody into this Facebook group, I will share, I'll put these into a drawer and I'll send a packet of these cards to one of the people. So I'll put you in a drawer and I'll share one of these sets of cards with you. And if you're watching this on our Facebook page and you like it and share it, so you've got to do both, you've got to like it and share the video, then I'll put you in a drawer and I'll choose over the weekend somebody to receive a packet of these content cards. They're really, really good, really slick, really well done. I'm very impressed. Thinking about doing a profit one.
Oh, maybe also, if somebody places an order, they can get a free pack of cards.
Get a free pack of cards if you buy some furniture. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Watch
Good
this
idea.
space for
Watch
prices.
this space.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's an easy setup on business, isn't it? You just put it on the Facebook Marketplace. You don't need a website. You don't need anything overly complicated, and you know, you can put these together in a day, can't you? Well, maybe a day or two. Yeah, we wouldn't want to promise that on delivery, but yeah, but it's something to think about, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So let me know what you're doing, what you're pivoting, how your business has changed during lockdown. Really, really interested. And then don't forget to invite people to the groups and like and share this video if you want to be in with a chance of winning some of these fabulous content cards created by the very clever Joe. So I wish I'd created these. They're brilliant. So that's great. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much. Bye for now.